Hello guys, today I'm going to start with the chapter Angle and its Measurement. Now this chapter is in section 1 of FYJC Maths. So it's a very simple chapter and has very limited concept. So let us begin without any delay. Now first of all, what is an angle, or more appropriately, what is a directed angle? A directed angle always has an initial arm and it has a terminal arm. So basically you move from the initial arm to the terminal arm, the rotation that is made, that is basically your angle. But there are a couple of things that I need to clarify with you, especially things that you've learnt in school. First of all, you might be under the impression that angles start from 0 degrees and end at 360 degrees, but it's nothing like that. They can go on and on and on. There is no limitation to the magnitude of an angle. So there is no limitation that it starts from 0 and it ends at 360. The second misconception is that we always think that angles are positive. Again, I would like to reiterate here that angles can be positive and angles can also be negative. So having said that, let me just come back to what I was saying here. You have an initial arm, which is OA in this case, and you have a terminal arm, which is OB, and O is of course the vertex, and you have rotated this angle in the anti-clockwise direction. I hope you understand what a clockwise angle is, or clockwise direction is, and what an anti-clockwise direction is. Anti-clockwise is that which is opposite to the way a clock moves, or the hands of a clock move. So anti-clockwise is this direction and clockwise direction is this direction. Okay, now please understand that in a directed angle which moves in the anti-clockwise direction, like this angle AOB which is the first case, and an angle BOA basically which moves in the clockwise direction, they are not equal even though they have the same amount of rotation. So even if this angle was say 30 degrees but moving in anti-clockwise direction, and this angle is 30 degrees moving in clockwise direction, yet these two angles will not be considered as the same angles. Now let us go a little deep into that. Now let's understand that if rotation of the initial arm is anti-clockwise, like in the first case, then the measure of the directed angle is positive, and if the direction of the rotation is clockwise, then the measure of the directed angle is negative. Let us understand that. So for example, if angle of measure is 30 degrees but measured in anti-clockwise direction, then that will be considered as positive 30 degrees. But if the same measure 30 degrees is measured in clockwise direction, then this will be considered as a negative 30 degrees. I have highlighted this in a figure. So if you see, I have measured this 30 degrees from this arm to this arm, so it's going in the anti-clockwise direction, so that is considered as positive 30 degrees. As opposed to in this particular example, I am moving from this arm to this arm, so I am moving in the clockwise direction, so this angle is considered as minus 30 degrees. So the magnitude of the two angles is same in the examples that I've taken. This is 30 degrees, that is minus 30 degrees. Sorry, this is 30 degrees and this is also 30 degrees, but this is moving in the anti-clockwise direction, and so therefore it will be considered as positive 30 degrees, whereas this is moving in the clockwise direction, that's why it will be considered as minus 30 degrees. Now let us come to the next concept of coterminal angles. Now here I have drawn an angle. You have the angle with ray OA and ray OB, right? Now how many angles, in fact this OA and OB can give you so many angles. I have just highlighted 3 angles. One is where your initial arm is OA and your final arm is OB, and you are rotating the angle from OA to OB, and so that is 30 degrees. Suppose you rotate it one full circle and another 30 degrees, so this entire full circle is 360 plus 30 and so it has come back to OB only. So you started from OA and you went one full circle and you also went more 30 degrees, so you ended up again at OB, but this time the angle will be 390 degrees. So both the angles 30 degrees as well as 390 degrees have started at OA and have ended at OB, but yet their values are different. One is 30 degrees, one is 390 degrees. The third example, I start from OA, but then I move in the clockwise direction and I stop at OB. So this rotation in the clockwise direction is 30 degrees short of a full circle, which means it will be 330 degrees, but because it is moving in the clockwise direction, it will be minus 330 degrees. So what are these three angles? 30 degrees, 390 degrees and minus 330 degrees. All are starting from OA and all ended at OB, but they had different ways of rotation. Two of them rotated anti-clockwise, one went full circle and another 30 degrees. The third angle, it got rotated in the clockwise direction and it stopped 30 degrees short of a full circle, which means it started at OA and still again ended up at OB. What is common for the three angles? The one thing common for the three angles is that they are all starting and ending at the same arm, meaning they all have the same initial arm and the same terminal arm, which means that these angles are coterminal angles. I will just read this out. The directed angles having measures 30 degrees, 390 degrees and minus 330 degrees in this particular example have same initial arm, which is ray OA, and same terminal arm, which is ray OB, and hence these three angles that I have just written over here, 30 degrees, 390 degrees and minus 330 degrees, they are all coterminal angles. Now how do we know? If I just give you any two angles and ask you whether the angles are coterminal or not, so what we do is, if two directed angles are coterminal, then the difference between the measures of these two directed angles will be a multiple of 360 degrees. So for example, suppose I give you two angles, in this case 390 degrees and 30 degrees, just like the example that I have taken over here. So I have taken 390 degrees and 30 degrees. You should simply subtract them within the mod. So 390 minus 30 degrees within a mod. Why the mod? Because then we can make it positive if it comes negative. So 390 minus 30 gives you 360 degrees. So basically the difference of the two angles has come a multiple of 360 degrees, and therefore these angles will be coterminal angles. I mean, I just really don't need to show you this. You can see the figure and you understand that they are coterminal angles. But if we want to avoid drawing the figure every time, then you just take the two angles and subtract them and see whether you are getting a multiple of 360 or not. If you get a multiple of 360, the angles that have been given will be coterminal angles. If you don't get this difference as a multiple of 360, then they are not coterminal angles. Let's take a few more examples. Suppose you have a minus 300 degrees and you have a 60 degrees. So you take the mod, insert minus 300 degrees minus, and then put this 60 degrees. What do you get? You get a minus 360 degrees. The mod gets applied on it and the negative number becomes positive. So you get 360 degrees, which is a multiple of 360. Therefore minus 300 degrees and 60 degrees will be coterminal angles. Let's take one more example. You have one angle 800 degrees, the other is 80 degrees. Insert them over here. 800 minus 80 you know is 720. What is 720? 720 is a multiple of 360. It is 2 into 360. Therefore 800 degrees and 80 degrees are coterminal angles. If you see this last example, you have minus 400 degrees and 30 degrees. Insert them in the mod and subtract them. So minus 400 minus 30 degrees is minus 430 degrees, which is 430 degrees after the mod is applied. 430 degrees is not a multiple of 360, and therefore these are not coterminal angles. Now let us come to another concept, which is system of measurement of angles. Now we have learned one way of measuring angles, which is the degree way. That is called a sexagesimal system or the degree measure system. Now what is a degree measure system? What is 1 degree really? 1 upon 360th part of a complete rotation is referred to as 1 degree. Okay, 1 upon 360th part. Remember that one entire rotation is 360 degrees, right? So if you take one part out of this 360, if you make 360 parts of this entire rotation, one part of that 360 will be referred to as 1 degree. Also, there are some more partitions within 1 degree. 1 upon 60th part of 1 degree is referred to as 1 minute. So 1 degree consists of 60 small parts. Every part is referred to as 1 minute. If you go further inside, every minute has 60 small parts. 1 upon 60th part of that 1 minute is called as 1 second. So remember, 1 degree is equivalent to 60 minutes because there will be 60 small parts in that 1 degree, and similarly 1 minute will have 60 small parts which are referred to as 60 seconds. The symbol for minutes is 1 dash over here or 1 apostrophe, and for seconds it is 2 apostrophes, so that is 60 seconds, this is 60 minutes. So 1 degree is 60 minutes, 1 minute is 60 seconds. I'll repeat, 1 degree is 60 minutes and 1 minute is 60 seconds. Now there is one more system which is also referred to as the circular system, in which we measure the angles in radian. Now this radian is a new unit. We have only learnt the degree system. Now we are introducing a new unit which is called the radian system. Now let's understand it with a way of an example. You know that 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. So for weighing certain things, you either can weigh them in kg or you can weigh them in grams. In fact, you can weigh something in milligram as well. But I have just given you a simple example. You know 1 kg is 1000 grams. Similarly, you can measure distance in so many different ways. You know 1 meter is 100 centimeters, or you know 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. So similarly, if I want to forge a relation between the two systems of measurements, which is degree and radian, radian is referred to by this small c, not this entire whole circle like how we do in degrees. There is this small c over here. So 1 degree is always equal to pi by 180 radian. So this is the conversion factor. 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian. Similarly, 1 radian will be 180 upon pi degree, much like 1 gram would be 1 upon 1000 kg, just the reciprocal, right? Let us see how to convert. We have been given 60 degrees and I have asked you to convert the 60 degrees to radian. So you take the 60 and multiply it by pi by 180. Similar to this, if you know 1 kg is 1000 grams and I ask you how much therefore is 5 kg equal to, so what do? You take the 5 kg, multiply it with 1000 and you get 5000 grams, right? So similar to that, if I know that 1 degree is pi by 180 radian, then what will be 60 degrees? 60 degrees will be 60 into pi by 180. So when you do 60 into pi by 180, you will get the 0 getting cancelled, 6 cancels with 18 3 times, and you get a pi by 3 radian. Now you would say, what is this pi? This pi is the same pi that you've learnt in the past, 3.142 or 22 by 7. That is the pi. But we normally leave the angles in terms of pi in radian. Whenever we deal with angles in radians, mostly the pi is left as it is. We do not convert it to 22 by 7 or 3.142. I'll take one more example. Pi radian. Now I want to convert to degree. So we take this pi and we multiply it by 180 upon pi. So we multiplied with the reciprocal. So pi and pi got cancelled, you got just 180. So you got 180 degrees. So remember that pi radian is 180 degree. 60 degree converts by multiplying by pi by 180 and you get a pi by 3. Pi radian converts to degrees by multiplying by 180 upon pi and you got a 180 degrees. Now let us see a few examples. The first example, express the following angle in degrees, minutes and seconds. We have been given 74.87 degrees. This needs to be converted into degrees, minutes and seconds. Now what is 74.87 degrees? It is 74 degrees plus 0.87 degree. Now 0.87 degree is basically 0.87 of 1 degree, but what is 1 degree? It is 60 minutes. So it is 0.87 of 60 minutes. So what is 0.87? 0.87 is 87 upon 100 into this 60. 1 0 got cancelled. You got 87 into 6, which becomes 522, divided by 10. You get 52.2 minutes. So now we can just split this 52.2 minutes as 52 minutes plus 0.2 minutes. So 74 degrees, 52 minutes is now set aside, and you're now got to deal with this 0.2 of a minute. Now what is 0.2 of a minute? It is 0.2 times 60 seconds, because 1 minute is 60 seconds. So now you have 0.2 into 60 seconds. That is 2 by 10 into 60 seconds. The 0 got cancelled. You got 2 into 6, which is 12. So that's 12 seconds. So therefore your 74.87 degrees is 74 degrees, 52 minutes, 12 seconds. I hope that is clear. Now let us also see a few conversions from degrees to radian. So you have this first question over here, convert 150 degrees to radians. So you take this 150, multiply it by pi by 180. So you get the 0 getting cancelled here. 3 goes into 15 5 times, 3 goes into 18 6 times. You get 5 pi by 6, 5 pi by 6 radian. Similarly, you take this 270 degrees, you convert it to radians, you get 270 into pi by 180, 1 0 got cancelled, 27 and 18, 9 goes 3 times, 9 goes 2 times, so you get 3 pi by 2 radian. Now, I have taken one more set of questions where we have to now express these angles in degree measure. So I have been given minus 9 pi by 2 radian. So you take this minus 9 pi by 2 and this time not multiply by 180 but multiply by 180 by pi. So pi got cancelled, your 2 gets cancelled with 180, so you get 90, and 90 into minus 9 will give you a minus 810 degrees. Now we've taken one more example. This is 4.4 radian. For a change, I don't have a pi in my radian. You have 4.4 radian to be converted into degrees. So you take 4.4 and you multiply it by 180 by pi. So 4.4 is 44 by 10 multiplied by 180 upon pi. 1 0 got cancelled. You get 44 into 18 into you have 1 upon pi, so that is 7 upon 22. So 22 goes into this 2 times. 2 into 18 into 7 gives you 252 degrees. So that is what 4.4 radian is. It is 252 degrees. Now let us take a few word problems. Problem number 1. The difference between two acute angles of a right angle triangle is given as 2 pi by 5 radian. We have to find the two angles in degrees. So out of the 3 angles of the triangle, they are only talking about the 2 angles, because one of the angles is 90 degrees because the triangle is a right angle triangle. So the other 2 acute angles are what we are trying to find. So let the 2 acute angles be x and y. You know that if one of the angles is 90 degrees, obviously the other 2 will add up to 90 degrees, that because the total up to 180 degrees. So you know your x plus y is 90 degrees. So that is your first equation. And they've told you that the difference between the two acute angles is 2 pi by 5. So you know x minus y is 2 pi by 5, but then we'll also convert that to degrees because your original first equation is in degrees. So you take this 2 pi by 5 and multiply it by 180 upon pi to convert this to degrees. So pi got cancelled. Your phi gets goes into 180 36 times, so 36 into 2 becomes 72. So x minus y is equal to 72 degrees. That is equation number 2. So now we will take equation number 1 and equation number 2 and solve them simultaneously to eliminate one of the variables. So y and minus y will get cancelled. X plus x becomes 2x. your 90 plus 72 becomes 162, and so x becomes 81 degrees. Now we can put this 81 degrees in, say, equation number 1, and so you'll get y equal to 90 minus 81, which is equal to 9 degrees, and therefore the two acute angles are 81 degrees and 9 degrees respectively. They've asked you the angles in degrees. Now had they asked you the angles also in radian, then we would just convert this 81 degrees and 9 degrees into radian by multiplying by pi by 180. So that I have already explained in the examples above. Now let us take one more question, one more word problem. Now in this word problem it says one angle of a quadrilateral has measure 2 pi by 9 radian, and the measures of the other three angles are in ratio 3:5:8. We have to find the measures of these three angles in radian. Okay, they've asked you the measures of these three angles in radian. These are the three unknowns. The fourth angle you already know is 2 pi by 9. It's given. It's 2 pi by 9 radian. So let the three angles in the ratio 3:5:8 be 3k, 5k and 8k respectively, where what is k? K is a constant of proportionality. I hope you know this. You've learned this in school. So the three angles are in ratio 3:5:8. So we can assume the three angles to be 3k, 5k and 8k respectively. Also, I will just convert this 2 pi by 9 into degrees. So 2 pi by 9 multiplied by 180 by pi got cancelled. 9 goes into 18 20 times. 2 into 20 is 40 degrees. So you know your 2 pi by 9 radian is also 40 degrees. Also we know that the angles of a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So these three angles, 3k, 5k, 8k, along with this 40 degrees, the fourth angle, they will all add up to 360 degrees. So 3k plus 5k is 8k, 8k plus 8k is 16k, 16k stays here, 40 goes there, 360 minus 40 is 320 degrees. So what is k? K becomes 20. So this k, which is 20, then is inserted in place of 3k, 5k and 8k in place of k. So what is 3 into 20? It is 60. So 3k, the first angle will be 60 degrees. The second angle 5k, so 5 into 20, that is 100 degrees. The third angle is 8k, so 8 into 20, which is 160 degrees. So the three angles, the three unknown angles of the quadrilateral are 60 degrees, 100 degrees and 160 degrees. But they have asked us the angles in radian, so let us convert them one by one. So 60 degrees converted to radian, multiply by 180, so 0 0 got cancelled, 6 goes into 18 3 times, so that's pi by 3 radian. 100 multiplied by pi by 180, 0 got cancelled, and then you have 5 going into 2 going into 10 5 times, and 2 going to 18 9 times, so that's 5 pi by 9 radian. 160 degrees is then multiplied by 180, 0 got cancelled, you have 16 and 18, again 2 goes into 16 8 times and 2 goes into 18 9 times, so that is 8 pi by 9 radian. So that's how the unknown three angles in radians are pi by 3 radian, 5 pi by 9 radian and 8 pi by 9 radian. I hope you followed all the questions that were covered in today's video. Until next time, goodbye.